IVM.
Hello and welcome to Football Twaddle. My name is Saru. I am given company in the studio with my producer and the sound guy. And the guys I do the podcast with, they're on the phone, which is Tanuj Baru.
What's up?
And we also have Azim as a substitute for Kumar Khanna because Khanna wanted to end the season the way he started it by not being on the podcast. Yeah.
Hi guys.
So what's up, Azim? How are you?
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you need to. I think
Sorry
get
that Pranav
closer
bhai
to.
couldn't make
I think you need to get closer to the phone, Azim.
Again?
Yeah, not again.
Okay.
Now it's fine. Yes. So however you're holding the phone right now, I think that's the best.
Fair enough. This is the way I'm going to be holding it for the next half an hour then.
All right. So let's get into it, man. There's only two things to talk about, which is let's put Baru in trouble or let's make Baru feel bad.
Oh,
Probably
God.
in the second half of the show, Baru, not the first one. The first half you can rejoice. Because
in the first half we should talk about the first half.
No, we're not doing that.
And then second half we'll just
This is not a Europa League final review special. There is another event which happened in Madrid, you may know, which is called the Champions League.
Got a new king.
Yes. So Liverpool beat Tottenham 2-0 in probably one of the most boring Champions League finals since I've started watching it. So let's start with Azim. What did you think of the final to start with?
I'd say that the quality was missing, that's one. And the semi-finals were so high octane that our expectations were set exceptionally high. So we were expecting something down the same track or in the same line. And sadly it wasn't so. So that's why it was a disappointment for everybody who stayed up to watch the Champions League final.
Yeah, I was actually reading some stat that this Champions League final probably had the lowest pass completion percentage in the entire Champions League this season. So they basically get to the final to show us the worst game as the final.
If Spurs were slightly more clinical, I guess the outcome would have been different. That's what I feel, okay? Probably in terms of just footballing on the night, I think Spurs did a good job, but they were just not clinical enough to get the ball into the net.
Yeah. Baru, do you concur with that opinion?
Yeah, I mean, especially the most interesting story that's coming from the Champions League final being how they prepared for it tactically.
How
Liverpool did. So, well, the story goes that Liverpool actually played Benfica's B team, friendly, just before the final.
Okay.
And they actually asked the Benfica B manager that adapt your tactics to Tottenham Hotspur's tactics and play with the same formation so that we can figure out what their movement is like and how their offensive and their defensive formation changes, with their 4-2-3-1 defensive that they do have in place. And they got players to actually mimic specific Tottenham players, like somebody was Dele Alli, somebody was Kane, and somebody was Eriksen.
But is this a true story, or are you just are people making up stuff like this now?
No, it's true. It's all over the internet. Benfica's manager, Renato Paiva, he actually, gave an interview in Portuguese, and people are translating that on the internet.
Oh.
And coming up with all of this. So they actually, got the entire midfield triangle replicated.
Yeah.
With Ali, Eriksen, and Kane. And Klopp actually played his game against them. He actually he went one step ahead and he actually told them, this is what he told them after the game. Like when you drop your centre backs to build up, then we immediately pressed the same way we did against Manchester City. You guys still managed to surpass it 3 or 4 times. So is that a compliment for them that they're better than Manchester City when it comes to, I don't know, but it looks like,
shots fired.
It did look like they were ready for the final, much more ready than Tottenham. But, I think they just didn't, need it really that much.
Oh, right.
I think they forgot Sissoko. The Benfica B team forgot to emulate Sissoko on the pitch. They emulated Dele Alli, We thought had somebody...
They probably did the football Twaddle mistake and they emulated Dembele.
well, there are two things. One is, emulating Dele Alli is quite easy these days. You don't have to do anything. You have to just misplace a pass. So it really doesn't matter. And one big call, like other than the Dembele gaffe, we spoke in our preview that it'll be a really big call to leave Lucas Moura out and get Harry Kane in. And that's what Poch did, and Azim, that backfired. I think that was such a mistake, just getting Harry Kane back into the team. He probably could have been on the substitutes bench, and if things are not going well, get him at the 65th, 70th minute, because you can't even get Harry Kane out in the 45th minute.
It's like when Barcelona in the beginning of the season did not have Messi, they were still scoring goals, they were playing good football, they were winning matches. But when Messi became available...
Are you comparing Messi and Harry Kane?
I am comparing a talisman for a team. Okay, Harry Kane has been a talisman for Tottenham Hotspur. It's a difficult call for the manager to make that you don't play your best player in the most important match of the season.
Yeah, but he didn't look fit. He genuinely didn't look fit throughout the game.
Firmino did not look fit, but Firmino did start, right? I would have started Origi in place of Firmino because Firmino was not fit. Firmino was not match fit. Firmino had not played the semi-finals the way Origi has played. Origi deserved to start in the final, but still he did not. Why? Because you go with a lineup which is already in the heads of other players, that's one. And that's the way they have played the entire season. So it's more, they're more habituated to playing in that particular fashion. So I don't think that is a bad call. Just it did not turn out in first favor. That's a different story. But I don't think that was a bad call.
You think he should, Baru, you think he should have substituted Harry Kane at halftime, given that it wasn't working at all?
Yeah, definitely. But there is always that, the tendency to just stick.
Agar goal maar diya to? You mean that tendency?
Giving him some more time and some more time.
Yeah.
Because there are very few managers who actually accept that they're doing something wrong tactically in just midway through a game and make those changes right at halftime. And I guess Pochettino just
isn't one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Liverpool finally win the Champions League, guys. At the Klopp, their sixth Champions League, Klopp's sixth attempt at a final or something, or after losing 6 finals, he's won a major trophy, a major European final, whatever. Not European, a major final, let's put it that way. So, are we going to still call Liverpool bottlers, or they've gone past it now?
No, I think Tottenham continued to be the bottlers. And Liverpool really did not. If you look at the end of the season, yeah, I mean, they were second and all that. And in the league, yeah, they definitely did bottle it if you look at it.
In January. And they recovered from there. Azim, did you see the photos of the after party from right after the match till the parade in Liverpool? Yes. Oh my God.
I saw the parade as well. It was amazing scenes. If you've not seen, you should have seen the fan park before the start of the match.
Oh, I saw. Our good friend Akash was somehow got his visa to Spain 2 days or a day before his flight, and he was there at Madrid.
Oh, that was some sight. Okay, Liverpool fans, they are a passionate lot. Okay, nobody can take that away from them, and they do come out in huge numbers in support of their team. So there's no doubt about as far as the bottlers question is concerned, come on, it's slightly harsh to be even considering it. At 97 points, they are winning every Premier League season there is to win, except for the last 2.
Yeah, but that was not the point Baru or I were making. They could have probably won. I think the point we are trying to make is they could have won the league had they just held their nerve for that 10 days, those 10 days in Jan.
One game.
No. That's not the point. The point that you're making over here is that if you look at the end of the season stats, so the bottling is not a result, right? Bottling is like a continuous process over a period of games or something. There's a specific definition for bottling. And that is what Liverpool did. They were in a position of winning the league by quite a good margin. But they dashed it. So fill in the blanks.
Yeah. So
I don't think they bottled it.
They bottled it. See, if it was No. I think if it was neck to neck throughout, and City was 1 point ahead, and then Liverpool were 1 point ahead. This was happening in the last few game weeks. But if you go, a segment before that, a section before that, this is the period where Liverpool bottled it. They were they were easily like
7 points
on the path to win it, and then they just drew a couple of games in a row, and that is the space where they bottled it. Otherwise, if you look at it,
I'd like to slightly differ. See, I'll tell you the important part. They drew against Leicester, they drew against West Ham. Those were the two games that led to where they are today. I will still say that they were 7 points clear when they played City. That City game, 2 goals. One was by Sane and the other one was by Aguero. They were class goals. You could not have done anything about it. Liverpool were not responsible for conceding those. Those were just brilliance from City. 1. Okay, Leicester and West Ham, I totally agree with both of you that yes, they should have won those games, but they could not. That's a different story altogether. But you have to cut them some slack.
We are.
Because
I'll tell you why. We are cutting them.
They had a brilliant season. We're just talking about the fact that they bottled it. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, okay, fine. They bottled the league in Jan, and then they went on a brilliant run, and they're the champions of Europe. So whatever we say is just egg on our face, because the team which are the champions of Europe are Liverpool, right?
Yes.
And Jurgen Klopp, guys, finally the man does it. What is it? He's such a right fit for Liverpool. Like, they just seem like this whole passionate bunch who will either lose spectacularly or win and just go mad. Like, he was about to fall off the team bus because he was drinking beer on it. Did you see the video of that?
Yes. Did you see that one when he counts till 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he's like 6.
Oh, that has so many meanings. The meaning I took was what the position of Manchester United in the league was. He was just trying to point that out. Yeah, so it seems Klopp basically, when the team tour bus or the parade bus basically came, Klopp basically got in crates and crates of beer and just like put it in the bus. So they were pretty drunk even before the parade started.
Did you know that he drank beer all night the last time they lost the Champions League final as well?
Yeah, we've all seen that video in the morning.
Yeah,
so I don't think it matters to him. It matters how his team plays. And I think that makes it such a beautiful team to watch.
Yeah.
Probably the result does matter to him. It does to everyone else as well. But it's how he plays or how the team performs on that pitch, the passion they show, the level of intensity they have. I think all of that makes Liverpool the club they are.
Dude,
they are a brilliant team, but the anticlimactic aspect of this is that the last match of the season that they played was actually not a Liverpool side playing, not the Liverpool that we've seen play throughout the season. I mean, it was a really boring match.
So let's get to why that was so. The handball. Oh God, that was such a harsh handball, man. Like, where is the end to it? Did Mane just hit to the hand to get the penalty? Or are we now looking for players without hands? Like, how harsh can a penalty?
It's gonna get tougher. It's gonna get tougher for defenders next season, because if I have read the rules correctly for what the changes are going to be, it's gonna be if the hands are outside your silhouette. Okay, then it's going to be given as a handball and a penalty. So right now what happens is that the referee takes into account that if the ball is very near to the defender when it is shot or when it is passed or when the incident occurs that the hand touches the ball, it is taken into account that there was less time for the defender to move his hand away. From next season onwards, they're not going to account for that time. They're just going to see that if the defender approaches the ball with his hands in a manner which are outside his silhouette, despite of that position being an unnatural position, they will still give it as a penalty.
Dude,
it's going to get tougher.
That is just so harsh. Baru, do you even agree with that rule? Like, where is the end? Like, human beings, at least footballers have hands who play football, right?
Yeah, so I've always been the proponent, like even during the games that we are a part of during our daily, weekly, whatever games. It is a very simple thing that if your hand is not moving towards the ball, okay, firstly, regardless of where it hits it, it's not a handball. I mean, you're not in control. If it's in the natural movement of motion of your body, like you're running or something, your hand is where it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be by your sides. That's unnatural. Natural is that your hands are like either in front or behind you, alternatively.
Yeah, I mean,
hitting it at that point, it is not a handball. But the way things have been everywhere is that haath ko laga to handball.
Yeah, exactly. I think that probably killed the game as well.
Yeah, so I mean, in an ideal world, you'll figure out if there's an intent to it or not. But in such motions, when it's a part of the natural motion of the body and the ball is moving towards it and your hands are not moving towards the ball, it's not a handball. In this case, Sissoko's hands were way out of his body. And I mean, it started off in a very unnatural position. Okay.
Yes.
He was standing. Okay. He was covering the goal. He was covering his spot. It was his zone rather. And he was moving towards Mane. And his hand was, I think he was trying to signal to his defenders behind him or something that, whatever, he's trying to marshal them while he's going on to Mane.
Didn't it hit his chest and then hand?
Yeah, no.
Wait, an armpit, more like an armpit.
Oh God, yeah. Yes,
no,
continue.
So the thing that happened is that his hands were way off. They were totally not in a natural position.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, his hands were not supposed to be there in the first place. Yes, it hit his shoulder, his armpit or whatever. But what the referee sees is that his hands are out and the ball is stopped over there.
Oh man!
It was a midfielder's challenge. It showed that it's a midfielder's challenge. If a defender approaches that ball in the box, you will see that they tie their hands behind their backs when they do.
Correct. And if you also notice, if you go further into what happened in that movement, his hands is actually pulling them behind his back. Right. Looking at the starting position of the hand, and that is a handball. But the fact is that he's moving away from the ball. He's trying to get his hand out of the way.
Yeah, it's just...
So that is where it became an incorrect decision.
Yeah, it felt so harsh. I think that primarily
killed the game. It was a harsh decision and that penalty should not have been given.
Yes.
But it's against Spurs, so I'm fine with that.
Having said all of that, guys...
For the record, I thought it's a 10.
Okay.
Just for the record.
But having said all of that, Jordon Henderson is a Champions League winning captain. And James Milner moved from Manchester City to Liverpool in a genius move. And he's a Champions League winner now. Milner, guys, boring James Milner. And did you hear?
Where's the Twitter account now, man?
I cannot say anything about Milner. I think Milner is a phenomenal player. I don't know why, but Milner is superb. You play him at left back, he will play. You play him at central midfield, he'll play. You play him at center attack midfield, he'll play. Left midfield, right midfield. You put him anywhere on the pitch, he will give 100%. Where do you find these kind of players? He will do anything for that badge.
Yeah.
How many players do we see today that are cut out with that kind of mentality?
Milner is amazing. During the preseason, the first day of Liverpool's preseason, Klopp was basically checking the stamina of all these players, right? And basically, it was a simple thing. He got all the Liverpool players present at pre-season to do rounds of the ground and at a certain speed, and whoever drops out, drops out. James Milner aces
still running.
Yeah, he's still running. Like, Klopp had to say, ki ho gaya, you have won this. Let's just get on.
Did you see that show, the pre-match show, where they were showing them photographs of the younger selves of the players on their team? And he showed them Milner. Klopp was shown a photograph of Milner. Okay, Milner was extremely young.
Yeah,
and he called it. And at point of time, he said, "This is Mr. Consistent." And he was like extreme. Yeah, he calls him that. Klopp calls James Milner Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, all right. So before we take a break, we only spoke about good things of Liverpool. We somehow forgot.
Another interesting fact about Liverpool is that both the captains. Like in the last 16 years, have won the Champions League, and they've had only 2 captains.
Oh, Gerrard and Henderson.
Yeah.
That's amazing, but Henderson doesn't slip like Gerrard, so I would rate him higher probably.
The Liverpool faithful are not going to forgive you for that.
Dude, Liverpool.
That is why we are going on break right now, so that they have time to drop their tweets.
Yeah, but now we have to talk about Tottenham as well. It is no way a mean achievement for that team without buying an outfield player to reach the final. And
God, whatever, man.
Dude, I'm going to talk to Azim. You just
keep quiet
to this.
I get back to work.
No, don't get back to work. Just listen to us. So Azim, do you think Pochettino should leave Spurs?
Yeah, I think he should leave Spurs and come to Chelsea.
No, not that way. If you think of it, if let's say Sarri stays or whatever, but why? There is no reason for Poch to leave Spurs, right? Daniel Levy has said that he'll make some money available, And given that he has...
I don't think after such a repertoire in his what should I say, in his catalog or in his CV, he should stay at Spurs. He's a bigger manager than this. I think he deserves a bigger club than Spurs. That's what I see.
But with
not United. Come on, please, not United.
I didn't say United. I didn't even say United, dude. I'm saying that there's really no club. Every club has already employed managers, the big ones you're talking about. So who's left?
Yes, true, but I think Barcelona are looking to get rid of Valverde.
No, they are not. They've confirmed Valverde.
If they do get rid of Valverde, I think the best replacement they can ever find would be Mauricio Pochettino.
An Espanyol manager, huh?
Yep.
All right. On that note, we'll take a break. And after the break, we talk about events at Baku. Stay tuned to Football Twaddle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week on the IVM Podcast Network. As always, it's an awesome week. We'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this month as well, Savari, Storytel, and Paytm Money. Just a reminder, we're hiring some people. We're looking for producers, content creators, audio engineers, developers. Check out our careers page on our website. And if you're interested in working at the most awesome place in the world, please do send us your application. We have a few new shows launching. So the first new show we got launching is called Mr. and Mrs. Binge Watch. It's hosted by Janice Sequeira and Anirudh Goa. They're a TV-crazy, Netflix-loving, binge-watching couple who snort television for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They talk about the shows they binge on and a whole lot more. New episodes are out every Thursday on our network. Another new show we have is called Edges and Sledges. It's a cricket podcast where Varun, Ashwin, and DJ talk all about cricket. This week they have Tatenda Taibu, the former Zimbabwe captain, as their guest. It's the ICC World Cup season, so definitely check this one out. On the scene and the unseen, Shruti Rajgopalan returns as Amit Verma's favorite guest to discuss the CJI Ranjan Gogoi case, its loopholes, the politicization of the case, and judicial activism. On paperback, for the first time, Racheta and Satyajit discuss a work of fiction. They discuss the Harry Potter series with Tanisha Phagwani, founder and CEO of EFGstore.in. On our Marathi podcast, Golgappa, Trupti is joined by Gitanjali Gondale, founder of Moha by Gitanjali, an artisanal accessory brand, to talk about how she became a self-taught jewelry designer, her latest collections, and the current trends in the market. On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam is joined by transformation mentor Srinivasan Ranganathan to talk about how religion, knowledge, and the desire to make money can help you with better wealth management decisions. On Geek Fruit, Tejas and Dinkar interviewed Taruk Raina, the star of last year's hit Disney stage production Aladdin. They talk about the live-action adaptation of Aladdin and compare it with the animated classic. On IVM Likes, Janam and Abhineet are joined by the two ultimate Game of Thrones nerds, Gauri Pandit and Dhriti Menon, to talk about the final season of the ambitious TV show. And with that, let's go on with your show.
Welcome back to Football Twaddle. I have Azim on the phone and Tanuj Baru as well.
Oh God, I'm not looking forward to it.
Oh no, he's not looking forward to the second half of the show. It's a good thing that you put it in the second half. Otherwise, he would have just logged off and said, "I'm going."
I work.
He would have covered it in the first
He would have said, "I have work." All right,
Like the Arsenal team.
yeah.
We should transfer money.
All right, Baru, let's start with one thing. There is a striker called Olivier Giroud, which you guys sold to Chelsea, and you bought Lacazette and Aubameyang. And who screws you over? Are you keeping quiet now?
Maybe if I stay quiet, you'd cease to exist or something.
This is not like cat drinking a milk, dude. We know.
In a box.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Baru, what happened in the second half? First half, actually first 15 minutes, it looked like, Arsenal were going to do something. But after that, it didn't seem like Chelsea were going to do much as well in the first half. But what happened in the second half? It just changed completely. It looked like Chelsea were the ones who needed the Champions League spot and not Arsenal.
See, I'll just be very honest with you. I didn't watch the second half live. I just saw highlights of it, so I won't be able to really go in depth into that. And you guys are going to have to fill in because Mumbai Police was very, very helpful to Arsenal fans that day. And as soon as Olivier Giroud scored, the place was shut down because there were some permission issues.
Are you saying Mumbai Police are Arsenal fans and they saved Arsenal fans?
What do you think Arsenal stands for, in the English dictionary?
What? With you, for you, always. Mumbai Police.
Weapons and stuff,
Hashtag Gunners.
Yeah, Gunners, man.
All right, Azim.
So, yeah. And that's all we saw. I mean, Olivier Giroud broke all of our hearts.
Yeah, I saw a message
and
from
he's
you.
not my best friend anymore.
Exactly.
Granit Xhaka is my best friend now.
So
and it was that's what happened. I mean, we stopped watching as soon as we stepped out of the venue. We saw that it became 2-0, and then we got a rickshaw, and it was 2-1 or 3-1 or something.
3-0.
3-0, and then there was 1 goal, and then by the time we reached the next venue, I had my back towards the screen, and I was drowning my sorrows in water.
All right, Azim, let's do this then. If this was a way to go out for Hazard, what a way to get out. Get the team a Europa League.
Hazard/Sarri.
Sarri we'll talk about in some time, but Hazard, what a way to get out. He's pretty much ensured that the team finished third as well in the table. That guy wants to leave on such good terms.
Yes. He loves Chelsea. He loves Chelsea fans. He's given 7 years to Chelsea. He's done everything that he could have for the club. He's given everything. No Chelsea fan will have any complaints with Hazard, and we are going to love him for whatever shirt or whatever badge he's going to wear, and we are always going to be indebted to him for all that he's done for the club.
Yeah.
So, and what a way to go out. I totally agree with you. You could not have been any better.
Yes, and
1 goal and 2 assists, I guess. 2 goals and 1 assist.
Yes, and Pedro for the first 45 minutes didn't even connect the ball. The first time he did was in the second half, and he scored a goal. Man,
that was a good run by Pedro. That was he was well aware about where Hazard was going to play the ball. He made the diagonal run, and I'll tell you what happened. Okay, I was talking to people during the second half, and Arsenal fans were like, oh my God, Chelsea is playing so good. Chelsea is doing so well. I have seen Chelsea play the entire season. Okay, believe me, we are not capable of that kind of football.
No, come on, what bullshit.
Arsenal, come on, I'll be honest. Okay, Arsenal made us look good by some really shoddy defending. They played centre half.
Dude, League Cup quarter-final, League Cup semi-final, we played quite well. In fact, League Cup final, we should have won that as well.
In that Pedro goal? Did you see Montreal in that Pedro goal? And believe me, Kolasinac was an abomination. He was so bad. Kolasinac was non-existent on the left wing. Hey, whatever said and done, Chelsea did win it. But 4-1 in a final, I don't think that's an appropriate scoreline for any team that reaches the final.
Yeah, but if you've been following Arsenal for this long, I mean, that's always how it's been. Like
the away performances.
No, not away. The fact that when Arsenal goes a couple of goals down, they completely switch off at the back, and they put all of the focus on getting a goal back or getting another goal back. So that is when they start conceding goals on the counters, and so there's never been a middle ground for Arsenal. You either the match ends like 1-1, 1-0 or something.
Or if
they start conceding, it just goes 3-0, 4-0, 6-0. We've seen an 8-2. Yeah. And it's been something, this problem has been there throughout. Unai Emery has simply not done anything to the Arsenal defensive issues. He's just focused on our attacking, and which even that didn't really turn up. Ozil had, technically tactically whatever Emery must have told Ozil to do, Ozil did do that in this game. But it just didn't happen. Because most of the time the ball was actually falling to the wing backs. Yeah, their delivery was so bad. In the first half, Arsenal could have easily been at least 2 goals up.
Dude, let's not get carried away. It could have been probably 2-1 or something.
Aubameyang and Lacazette did not show up on the night. They were not there. They were non-existent on the pitch.
The delivery itself was not reaching them. I think the entire game, as you mentioned, Kolasinac had a really bad game. Yep. He reaches all those right positions with his physical presence and his speed. But it hasn't been. When he joined Arsenal, his delivery and his shots were all on target and on point. Now it's just not there. I mean, ever he's come back from his injury, I don't know, 3 months back or 2 months back or something, it's just been just bad.
Yeah, Baru, 2 questions for you. First one is, if your defense is so bad, what's wrong in just playing Mustafi? At least you have a defender who could defend sometimes, right? Why didn't they just play him?
I don't know, man. Let's just not dig into this wound any further.
But was it the centre half? I'd like to ask you this one. Do you think the centre halves were responsible? Because I don't think it was only the centre halves who were to blame.
No, I actually think Arsenal's fullbacks I think Xhaka had a decent game, really. So I think it was basically the fullbacks who were just all over the place. You see, almost all of Chelsea's attacks were Arsenal's fullbacks never in position or never even in a place where they could even stop the cross or a pass, nothing. They were just all over. They were in two minds, I think, because no one was supporting Lacazette and Aubameyang in attack. So they had to run front, and then they just created so much space behind. I think that was it.
Yeah, so I mean, the players, the effort, the visibility. I mean, obviously going into this game, the pressure was on Arsenal. And Chelsea really didn't have much to go for. I mean, the Europa League, they already won it, and I'm sure it's without a Champions League spot. This tournament has never really had that appeal. I mean, when United or when Chelsea last won it, I think United was the first time this thing got a place. When Chelsea won it, did they have a Champions League spot?
Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. Oh, well. So anyway, before that, it really didn't have that value. And Chelsea already had Champions League in the pocket, and the pressure was on Arsenal, and they just didn't show up.
Yeah,
neither did the players show up, and nor did
the manager.
Unai Emery do anything tactically. Because apparently, one of these tabloids are reporting that Ozil actually went to Unai in the dressing room and told him that, you don't deserve to be a coach.
What?
Oh my God. And the fallout is happening, and probably Ozil is going to be sold. Not sold, but probably be put on the transfer market this season.
Dude, even Kepa doesn't say such things, all right.
But do you think it's the mentality? Does anybody here, both of you, Barubi, for you especially, from a Chelsea fan, I'd really question the mentality of Arsenal. Because whatever said and done, the footballing aside, I don't think, like you just mentioned, that they did not show up. In Czech's interview, Czech mentions it, that if we drew a game in the Chelsea dressing room, we used to feel it was like a funeral. It's just not the same when it comes to Arsenal.
Yeah, so Czech also said that you guys don't understand Czech. So, I know that. You'll have to wait for the official translation of what he said and what he did.
Czech did save you on that particular night. I think Czech made some 2 or 3 very good
saves. Yeah. So talking about Ozil, you already touched on it. I really can't make what to make of his performance and the way he walked back. Oh my God, it seemed like Arsenal were just cruising or something. He just took so much time, and you have to just compare it to how Lucas Torreira, when he was substituted, he just ran out. He's just let the get.
He was in tears. Torreira was in tears. Torreira did all he could, but I don't think he was good on the night. He was bad.
Yeah, but when he was substituted, the way he ran out of the pitch so that the other player can come in fast, Ozil just took his time. I think it took a minute to just cross the pitch. It's
highly paid players get it into their head, I guess, and I think that's not good for the team.
Yeah, I don't think there's any solution to Ozil anymore. I think that relationship between
Arsenal and... They should let him go. If I ask today, that's too much of a wage bill for somebody who's just a liability at the moment.
Baru, you think so too?
No, I don't. I mean, I just think that Unai's tactics are not working that well for Ozil, because we've seen him when Ozil gets his game going, and at the end of last season it was going really well for him.
Yeah.
But currently it's just that it's just not working out. Unai really needs to know how to use Ozil, which he's not.
Yeah,
I don't think he's, as a manager, I don't think he is that smart or that developed to understand where Ozil can play and where he can't. Because even in Spain, I mean, I think from what I've been reading, they used to call him, I'm not sure if they did call him as just a joke, but Spanish Tony Pulis and whatnot.
No, he was never Spanish Tony Pulis.
I'm just saying, man.
No, I'll tell you, his thing was that people used to get just tired of his video analysis, and that's why in 2.5 years, they were whatever videos he showed, people were just blur. It was for them. It didn't really matter. It was all Chernobyl for them. It didn't matter at all. Yeah, but we have to talk about Unai Emery as well, because it's the first season after Wenger. He's been given a pass for a lot of things, but if you look at last 3-4 months, we talk of Liverpool as bottling it in Jan. Arsenal had the top 4 in the bag, and they kind of screwed it up so badly, including the final of Europa League. At what point will the fans start questioning what Unai Emery is doing there? Or because because he has no money in the transfer market, he's obviously being given a longer time.
But it's not so tight, right? I mean, he got Aubameyang. I mean, he got to use Aubameyang, who came just 3 months or something before.
Yeah.
Emery came in, and it's not like he doesn't have the right players. defense, yes, that section of the team really needs an overhauling. So let's see. I mean, we'll see his first proper summer window and see how it goes.
Yeah. All right. Azim, Istanbul, the first trophy of next year is going for Chelsea is going to be beating Liverpool in the UEFA Super Cup.
I don't see us doing that, but
dude,
it's football.
It's pre-season almost. You don't know what's going to happen. It could happen.
Yes, I don't. But from what I can see, with the transfer ban, we are not going to be able to get in any new players. For whom we have the exciting young prospects of ours are injured and are not going to be able to make it to pre-season.
Yeah.
And so we are going to be fielding the same team which we had this season and probably the same coach. So I don't think much is going to change there.
I don't know.
We just have to see how Liverpool set up. That's it.
I don't know about same coach, man. I get this dirty feeling that because Chelsea fans have abused Sarri so much, he may just want to leave to Juventus, and Chelsea may also say कि हाँ fans ने इतना गाली दिया है, so we may as well just let him go. I get a feeling that's what's going to happen now.
And Mourinho wants to come and join Chelsea.
That's not. I think what will happen is they'll probably get Frank Lampard and Jody Morris back, and then they will fail, and then Mourinho will come.
I don't think that's the right move to make, if you ask me.
It may not be. Yeah, it'll be a long road for Mourinho, like probably 6 more months to be back as a Chelsea manager. He shouldn't leave. He should figure a way out to stay at Chelsea. He's our man. He should just not go now.
Who are you talking about, Jose Mourinho or Mauricio Sarri?
Both of them. We need people who have not played football as managing us.
We should keep a hold. We should keep a hold of Sarri. I don't think we should let him go.
All right, boys. Now the European season is finally finished. Are you guys even bothered about UEFA Nations League?
Nah, not really. With the World Cup around, not really.
Baru, you?
I don't think I can see Giroud for some time now.
But then support England, no? England probably will win their first trophy. And the Southgate era will be truly begun. I don't even know if that sentence is a proper sentence, but yes, I guess you guess the sentiment.
Yeah, it's not the sentence.
Yeah, so what are you going to do for 2 months, Baru, then?
I think this month is going to get... we'll probably just stick around with the French Open. And the World Cup, which India I'm not sure is playing or not.
Yeah, whatever.
Because they still haven't played yet.
Yeah, Azim, can you help us understand this? Why is every other team other than India playing in the World Cup? This World Cup cricket, guys, by the way.
Ravi Shastri insisted that he needs to live life king size before the World Cup starts. So probably he doesn't trust his team and he is expecting a premature exit. So it's like, bhai, पहले enjoy कर लेने दो.
अच्छा
है. बाद का पता नहीं क्या हो. So that's why he and BCCI insisted. Or BCCI thought that let us have a look at how the other teams are prepped for the World Cup and then we'll have a strategy after that. These are the only two reasons that come to my mind.
We are the strongest one-day team, right, in the world?
As far as numbers are concerned, yes, but performance-wise, I don't know if that...
Yeah, I mean, let's not bring the brilliance of Bangladesh into this podcast yet. All right, guys. I'd like to think of what to talk about next week. Any hot transfer rumors? Like, I just read somewhere that Luka Jovic and to Real Madrid is finalized.
Yeah, but wasn't that finalized like ages back?
Dude, they keep finalizing the same deal. I think एक vendor ne sign kiya, then the other guy had signed today. I think that's what it is. But
weren't we going to have the team of the season for the Champions League?
Yes, we are. I'm just like talking about Luka Jovic, but yes, now that the season's over, since this is the last episode of this season, and we'll have to figure out, please stay tuned to our Instagram and Facebook and Twitter to know what's the update for the next 2 months because the season's done. But let's do the Champions League team of the season. Let's go one by one. I will take the easier one, goalkeeping position. I think it is Alisson. Any of you have any questions or doubts about it?
No.
All right. Azim, you take the centre backs.
The centre back for me, it's going to be Virgil van Dijk. And
De Ligt.
I'll go with Jan Vertonghen.
You will choose Vertonghen over De Ligt.
Yes, because Vertonghen played the final, Delic did not.
Oh, come on. Then let's just stick to Tottenham and
Yeah,
Spurs.
just choose the entire
Yeah, sorry.
Liverpool
No.
team.
No, not that alone. Did you see his goal against? I think he scored a superb volley, if I'm not wrong. When he was played at left back, because they had injuries all over, and Vertonghen had to go to left back, and he scored a phenomenal goal and crossed. That he was a man of the match on that particular night. I forgot the game in which he
Dude,
played.
Delic scored so many goals as well.
No, sorry. Madrid.
He played left back against Madrid.
Yes. I'd like to mention one more thing over here. Tottenham Hotspur beat Manchester City. If Manchester City were in the finals, Liverpool would not have been favourites. It was Manchester City who would have been favourites. Okay, and he was phenomenal against Manchester City.
All right,
so
fine.
People have just made him a hero because of his Champions League performance and here, but I don't think.
Dude, that is so unfair.
Yeah, he was a left back against Man City, right?
Yeah, against Man City, he played left back.
There was some game where he was a left back, and I know he scored a super ball.
City.
All right, Baru.
He got one goal against City.
Yeah, I think the left back and right back, we should just give it to the Liverpool boys. Don't you think so?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, come on. What a season that backline and Virgil van Dijk and Alisson have transformed the team. The solidity is crazy, man. How can one person change the team so much? It's amazing. And did you see Carrier's tweet? By the way, congratulations, Liverpool. You guys deserve it. Or something like that. All right. Azim, midfield. Let's go with a 4-3-3. So who are your three midfielders? And we shall see if we differ in it.
One will have to be Gini Wijnaldum.
He didn't even play all the games, dude.
Yeah, you're taking EPL experience to the...
No. Okay. If by Wijnaldum, again he takes the semi-final into the picture. Wijnaldum did not even start that game. He came onto the game. He was the person who made the difference. I forget everything else. Wijnaldum, come up with a better option, and I'll take Wijnaldum off the roster.
De Jong.
Yeah, I'll go with De Jong now.
It's 4-3-3, right? So I'm right now talking about a central midfield player. Yes, you can have De Jong, but there's three players, right? So Wijnaldum will make one of the three, is what I'm trying to tell. Other than that, definitely De Jong also was on my roster, but fair enough.
Fine, De Jong, Wijnaldum, and who else is in your thing?
I was going to go for Sissoko or Ziyech, between the both.
Really? You're not going for Arturo Vidal or someone?
No, not Vidal. Vidal was hopeless.
Okay, I think Sissoko, given the start he had to his Tottenham career, the way he's actually performed this season, he deserves to be probably in the team of the season. He's been consistent as well for Tottenham, right?
Yes. And he's been a powerhouse in that midfield. He drives with the ball, runs at defenses, runs at midfield, gets the ball out, ensures that he reaches the forward line, and starts the counter-attack for Spurs. He's been good, he's been strong, he's not lost the ball. He's been a good midfielder for Spurs.
Yeah, I think we can agree on Sissoko and De Jong. Baru, do you have any other name other than like Gigi?
Wijnaldum.
Yeah, you can take Henderson or Milner. Just take any one, right? They played much more of the Champions League than Wijnaldum.
Yeah, the guy only says yes.
But Ziyech, doesn't he play more advanced or?
He plays in a different system. He does not play in a 4-3-3. So that's why Ziyech probably can push forward from midfield. In a 4-3-3.
All right. The three people in attack. One has to be Messi, irrespective of whether Barcelona reach the final or not. His performances, some of the performances in the season, he has to be in the team of the season.
Yes.
Oh, thank God, Azim agrees.
He will also be on one of the players.
Yeah.
So that leaves us to Mane or Lucas Moura or...
Oh, Salah is out just because Messi's taken over his place.
Yeah.
I think it will have to be Moura. Dusan Tadic and Lionel Messi.
We don't need forwards. Why do we need forwards in this game?
God, don't you want to keep Ronaldo as a manager or something?
Who?
He pulled it off for Portugal, so I think he can be the manager of this team.
Yes, we have to have one weird ass
Yeah, that has to be either. So who's the manager? Is it Kepa or Ronaldo?
Kepa or Ronaldo? Let's take...
Between Kepa and Ronaldo, has to be Kepa.
Yeah, Kepa's won a tournament this season.
Yeah, but Ronaldo won the Euros, man. Are you forgetting that?
Dude, that was so long ago. That was like 2016.
So what? It's still a tournament.
We were different people then. Yeah, but yeah, who is the manager of the season? I would just say Ten Hag. He was like quite good. But Klopp, come on. I don't think there can be any other questions.
Yes, there cannot be any other manager. But yeah, even Ten Hag had a great season with Ajax with whatever resources they had available.
Yes.
Neres, Ziyech, De Jong, De Ligt, some really, really good players coming out from that Ajax squad. Sadly, they would all be dismantled now. But still, I think they'll still come up with
more players.
A few good, more starlets who are going to become stars of tomorrow in the seasons to come.
Yeah, well, that's such a weird team of the season, but I think this team would probably give anyone a run for their money because Messi can always play forward line and we can have Tadic and Mora playing behind him. What a team that will be.
Honorable mention, you'll have to make room for in substitute on the bench Origi. If you want to. But
let's give it to Origi.
Even Sterling had a stellar season. If you still Spurs, he was scoring goals left, right, and centre in the Champions League as well.
Yes.
Even Christian Eriksen has had a good season as far as Champions League is concerned. He used to dictate midfield for Spurs. He had an excellent 2 legs.
Yeah, but all of these can be in the substitutes bench because
substitute bench.
If you had to choose Spurs players, probably Vertonghen and Mora, you would choose as in the team of the season.
Yes.
All right. On that note, guys. Thank you very much, Baru and Azim, being on the podcast.
All right, lads.
And let me read this out thing. If you guys like this podcast, please don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow IVM on their social media, which is @IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to reach us on Football Twaddle, on Twitter we are @FootyTwaddle. And Instagram and Facebook, we are Football Portal. Please tweet us your messages, suggestions for next season, your opinion on team of the Champions League team of the season, anything and everything. And we will respond to you. And that's about it. All right, Azim, Baru, say bye again.
Bye.
And this is Saru signing off.
Janice, what do you think couples did before TV was invented?
I don't know, go for walks on the beach, long drives, fancy dinners, have more sex maybe?
But what did we do when we decided to move in together? We debated between the Chromecast and the Fire Stick.
We gave up on sleeping early so we could stay up watching true crime shows.
We got ourselves 3 cat babies.
And basically became the cutest couch potatoes around.
Okay then.
In case you guys still haven't got it, we are a TV crazy, Netflix loving, binge watching Mr. and Mrs.
I'm Anirudh Kuha.
I'm Janice Sequeira.
And if like us, you snort TV for breakfast, lunch and dinner, this is the podcast for you.
Tune in every Thursday on the IVM Podcast app or wherever it is that you get your podcast from. This is
Mr.
and Mrs.
Binge Watch.
Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, Don Bradman, and now Cyrus Brocha. Okay, probably not in the right company. I mean, Don Bradman is Australian. But it's called Cyrus Says, a wonderful show about everything. Find the show on the IVM Podcast app, ivmpodcast.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. Cyrus Says is brought to you by Storytel. Keep in mind that if you go through storytel.com/IVM, you get a 30-day free trial as against a 14-day free trial on the link. All right, it's very simple. All you got to do is log on to storytel.com/IVM. Millions and millions and millions of stories, many written by me.